again. It's a rich thing.
Hey y'all, I am back. As you can tell. I had a lovely vacation because I'm all tan. Don't mind the aloe vera. I'm a little bit sunburned as well, but I'll be all right in a couple days. But for now, I am enjoying my tan that I got from vacation. Jamaica was good to me and my daughters, so I'm happy to be back home. But not sure about this foolishness, okay? Because I see the foolishness did not stop while I was on vacation, okay? Came back home, watched the episode. I did not have the energy to take notes, but I was like, the foolishness that has ensued. But I actually enjoyed this episode a lot, y'all. Like, this is probably my favorite episode of the season thus far. So welcome. Before I jump into everything, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. Subscribe, like, comment. If you are not new, thank you so much for stopping back into the channel. Okay, y'all, I have a lot of notes because I took a lot of detail, especially in that first half. So we just gonna jump right into it so that this video is not terribly long. But I gotta tell y'all what happened, and I gotta tell y'all my thoughts too, okay? So episode 8 of the Never Ever Mess, the episode picks back off where the other one left off. And y'all know Shay was confronting Josh about the whole mess that Diamond told her. He's trying to reassure her, you know, he would not blindside her with no nonsense. And he's like, you know, we talk about all the time that we the best couple out here. So something was bound to come up because people think it's too good to be true. Bottom line ends up being Shay believes her man. She does not know Alexis. She does not know Diamond, but who she does know is her man, and she is sticking beside Josh, okay? And honestly, y'all, I'm not mad at her. While I'm usually all for girl code and looking out for your girl and all this and all that, I don't trust Diamond and Alexis either. So, I mean, you've known Josh the longest, so you know your man better than these other girls do. So, girl, go for it, all right? So we see Josh and Greg, they're outside talking. Josh says that he and Shay are going to go get matching tattoos. He brings Greg up to speed on what happened with Diamond and Alexis. Greg asks if Shay believes him. They're having a whole conversation. Millie is ear hustling from the window, calling them messy. Back inside, Shay asks Diamond why Alexis would bring this up now. And Diamond says, we've been talking. And she asked about y'all, but she just asked about everybody. So that's how it came up. Diamond girl, you sound like you lying. You sound like you probably was investigating, asking her questions, trying to figure out and stir up some mess. And that's how this conversation came about. Then Diamond was like, because somebody told me y'all was going to go get matching tattoos, I really wanted to tell her before all that. And Shay is like, yes, and we still going to get them tattoos, period. Shay wanted all the smoke this episode, okay? But Shay wants to know why Alexis didn't reach out to her. She's like, she got my number. I don't know at this point if it's Diamond trying to be messy or Diamond trying to be big sis. And girl, Diamond is trying to be messy just like her man. Okay, we can answer that for you. And then Diamond goes into this typical, us women gotta stick together because men gonna be men. Girl. We don't want to hear it. We don't, because you're just being messy. We don't want to hear this from you, okay? But Shay tells her she isn't dumb and this whole thing sounds stupid. Shay was activated this episode, and when I tell y'all I was here for every second of it, I was here for every second of it, okay? So next, all the couples are gathering to meet with Taronda outside. They're going to play an activity called the hot seat. So one couple will sit in the hot seat and the other couples will get to anonymously ask them questions. And I said, so basically we just gonna keep doing what we've been doing in the house, which is being a little bit messy. That's what I feel like. So anyway, the first couple up in the hot seat is Jody and Aaron. And of course, yeah, Jody has to be picky and particular about everything because she just don't like this man. So she has to even be picky about which side of the couch she's sitting on. And Taronda's like, girl, hurry up, pick a seat and sit down, okay? The first question is, do you see each other as short-term or long-term? Aaron says long-term. Jody is like term. I've never heard this word term before. Can you give me the definition and its origin? Like, she's acting like she's never heard of this and she don't know what's going on. She just ends up saying, I don't know. Okay, Jody. My theory is Jody at this point doesn't want to look like she has egg on her face. She does not want the other people in the house to know, damn, they was right. I'm not really feeling this guy, because then it's going to make her look terrible with all this tussling she been trying to do, acting like we don't got to be like every other couple. We doing our own thing. We don't got to be all up under each other. It's going to make you look crazy because you really don't like him. Girl, stop trying to save face, because it's making you look even more crazy, in my opinion. The next question is, where do they see themselves in 5 years? Aaron says, owning a business, taking spontaneous trips. And Jody just says, I'm not mad at that at all. Which means, I'm not mad to do those things. I'm just not doing those things with you, sir. Okay? That's what that means. When asked about marriage, Jody says that they have similar views on marriage. And if they did get married, it would not be because of love. It's a business decision. And fingernail polish Aaron in his confessional was like, no, they do that overseas. We don't do that over here. I just have to give him an eye roll at almost everything he says at this point. But I don't know, Jody, how many people are getting married because it's a business decision versus how many people are staying married because it's a business decision and the finances that come into play, girl. So I don't know if I agree with that, okay? So Earring Aaron says that that's always been his opinion on marriage, and Jody is the first person that has had the same thought pattern. And y'all, before I could even get the words out of my mouth, get my fingers to type the words, Greg in his confessional basically says he think Aaron just goes along with whatever Jody says, and he really can't be his true self, and that is not healthy. And I agree 1000%. He goes along to get along. And I believe I said that in one of my other reviews of Aaron is just like, whatever you like, whatever you like. That's what he is doing with Jody. And it's so annoying. The last question is, are you two physically attracted to one another? Aaron says, I am. Jody just says, yes. Tarana notices that Jody looks uncomfortable and asks her why. And she says, oh, it's because I'm cold. Jody, if you don't shut the hell up, like, can we stop? Just say, it's okay. Once y'all met, the vibe wasn't there. And that is totally fine. That's the point of us meeting face to face, to see if we still have the same connection. If you don't, that is fine. And I'm just so mad Tarana didn't dig a little bit deeper, because I believe she sees what's happening, and I wanted her to really go in a little bit more with the two of them. But they are out of the hot seat, and next up is Josh and Shay. And Shay is like, bring it on. The mess has been happening, so let's keep the mess going, all right? Shay is asked if she truly trusts Josh, and she says yes and gives him a kiss. Jody has a follow-up question and asks how they navigated through a potential situation in the house with them being broken. Shay says they talked about it, slept on it, and talked again. I'm assuming this is about the whole Alexis and Josh situation. I don't know. Jody was kind of vague, so I don't know, like, if she's talking about that situation or there was something else in the house that happened. Greg asks if Shay will let her emotions get the best of her outside of this process, and Shay says no, that she wouldn't be here. She would have been gone if she was letting her emotions get the best of her. Shay is asked how her mother feels about Josh, and Shay says she hasn't brought him up to her mom or sister because it's been an internet thing. And I said, girl, why you making me agree with Diamond? An internet thing after 12 years? Like, you trying to hide him? What is we doing that you have not told your family about this man that you have been on again and off again with for 12 years? 12 years. The math ain't mathin'. Sharonda asks when they plan to meet each other's family, and Josh is like, I'm ready to meet her mama whenever she is ready. Next up is Chris and Sandia, and of course, fingernail polish Aaron is feeding questions to his messy girl Diamond to put on their little sheet. Sandia says she's nervous because of the questions because of how Chris has talked to her in the house, and they play back all the times he's been trifling towards her. And I said, oh, so you do recognize that he is out here playing you. So why do you then try to act like everything is great between the two of you, Sandia? You see how he is treating you. Why are you still here? The first question is, how are they working through their communication issues? Chris says he's working on it, but he can improve, and he is working on it by making more time for her and picking up more calls because, geez, I'm just always working. I am just always working. Everything just sounds like a lie coming out of his mouth. Every single thing. Taronda asks, well, what do you really do for a living? Because you out here acting like you a Superman at nighttime because you always working. Chris says he's an entrepreneur, and Millie chimes in of, a man will make time for what he wants. And that is facts, Millie, okay? I done told y'all before, I'm in a long distance relationship with my boo, okay? Y'all trying to make that man my husband already, and I'm not mad at it, but that's still just my boo for now. And he always makes time for me. Does not matter how short or how long the time is. He makes time. So if Chris really wanted to, he would make the time. Chris says he will never spend a lot of time on any woman until that woman shows him that this is not going to be wasted time. Well, sir, none of us can predict the future. So how do you expect us to really navigate this, that this time won't end up being wasted? We don't know what's going to happen. He talks about how he wasted 8 years with a woman and it basically amounted to nothing, which is why he's the asshole he is today. Millie asks, why does this woman, i.e. Sandia, have to suffer for the past? And I have the same question. Like, at some point, you have to grow up and move on. And either, again, you open yourself up for love and you fully embrace that, or you don't and you leave this woman and every other woman alone until you are ready to move forward, okay? Taronda asks Sandia how that makes her feel. And she says, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. Sandia, what? Between you and Jody, I don't know who says they don't know what's going on more. I really don't. And both of y'all can just leave until y'all figure out what's going on at this point. So next question, Sandia, how do you feel being controlled by a man? And everybody is like, whoa, who asked that question? Sandia says they are a team and she gives him her input and aids in the decision making, and she doesn't control him and he doesn't control her. They are asked about gender roles, and Sandia says this is something they disagree upon because she feels like a man and a woman can lead. Chris doesn't believe that and thinks women are bad decision makers. Maybe your dad was a bad decision maker. He should have pulled out. Like, that's where I am at this point with Chris. Sandia says he's exaggerating. No, sis, he is not. Believe what he says and the words that are coming out of his mouth, okay? Taronda talks to Chris and tells him that men tend to think women are here and men are here. And that's not the case. Really, it's more like this. And all the women in the Amen corner are clapping and cheering because they are like, yes, tell him, Taronda, put him in his place. And she tells him it's because we procreate. You give us a house, we make it a home. You give us a seed, we make it a baby. And she tells him that coming from where she came from, or where a woman ran everything, this is a smack in her face, your mama's face, and all the ancestors' faces who had to do this. Thank you, Taronda. We appreciate you, okay? Kristen says, can I ask a question? No, stupid. You can't ask a question. But Taronda allows it. So luckily, I'm not the host. He asks, well, who's giving it to you? And she's like, what? He's like, if you saying a man is giving you this and you make that, so if I don't give it to you, where are you getting it from? At this point, all the ladies, if their stares and their attitudes could kill, Chris would have been out of here, okay? Because he really trying it, and even the guys are looking at him a little bit sideways like, dude, just be quiet at this point. Taronda doubled down on both genders needing each other. And without women, you would not even be here, stupid. I added the stupid. Taronda didn't say that, y'all. And then he's still sitting here acting like he don't understand. Chris says he feels like men are more logical and women base their decisions off of emotions. I said, so when you was arguing back and forth with Millie the other week, that wasn't you reacting off of emotions? Are you not reacting off her emotions from a past relationship on how you move today? I ain't hear you, Chris. He thinks Taronda was out of line for reacting that way to his questions, but he understands because she was reacting emotionally. Oh God, this man, child, Sandia, you are crazy as hell if you are still with this idiot, because I cannot. This man is being straight up with you, showing you and telling you exactly who he is. And if you think he is going to change, even for you, sweetheart, it's not going to happen. Okay. So the next couple is Greg and Millie, and Greg is nervous because, they ain't been doing too hot when it comes to these exercises. First question is, how does Millie feel about Greg being a womanizer? And I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. When was Greg a womanizer? Like, I completely missed the part of Greg being a womanizer. But okay, she says she doesn't like it. He's working on it and focusing on just her, but she doesn't know what will happen once they leave. Greg says, that isn't what he wants anymore. And throughout the 12 days, and when he said 12 days, y'all, I said, it's only been 12 days. It ain't even been a full 2 weeks. It's only been 12 days and we have been through all of this nonsense. Whew. But he thinks his actions have been showing now that he is really here just for her. And I can agree with that. I don't think Greg has really shown us anything shady that I would think that he does not want to do right by Millie. I mean, Millie has given him every reason and opportunity to just put up the deuces and say, I'm out, and he has not done that. So I ain't got no problems with Greg, okay? Josh chimes in and says that Greg has been honest this whole time, but a lot of Millie's assumptions from her own past makes it harder to get past what she really wants. And he's shown her, like Greg has shown her, she is the one that he wants. And everyone just encourages Millie to be true to herself, bring her wall down. And Greg really reassures her that, I'm not going to do what the other men did to you. And he is not those other dudes. And Millie smiles, and I'm happy to see her smile, okay? The next question is, when Greg makes a mistake, will you give him time to apologize and correct? And she says, yes, she is working on being more patient because, of course, we know she always feels like she has to really protect herself. But Greg is finally asked once again what Millie's birthday is, and he gets it right. And these two are happy, and I'm happy for them because this has been a really good drama-free exercise situation for them, okay? So last is Diamond and Aaron, the couple with the mess. And when I tell y'all Shay is ready to give them the smoke, I love this side of Shay the whole episode. Me and Shay got off on the wrong foot with her wearing that dress to the festival, carnival, whatever it was. But since then, Shay has been my girl. All right. So first question is, are y'all jealous of the other couples because y'all are older? They both laugh, and Aaron says the amount of relationships that they have been through, meaning the other couples, he's been through quadruple, and he isn't jealous at all. Now, fingernail polish, Aaron, I don't know if that was the flex that you thought it was going to be, but it really wasn't, okay? Diamond, do you love Aaron is the next question. Diamond says, I tell him all the time, and Shay is like, all we hear is Diamond, 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 my Diamond. We don't ever hear you really talking that way about him. Diamond asks if they haven't heard her say it, tell Aaron that she loves him. And most of the couples are like, no, we don't hear you say it. And Aaron says it's because Diamond is with him. Diamond is not with the rest of the group. And here comes Aaron thinking this is going to be his time to shine, y'all. He says, so we can agree that stuff can happen between a couple and the rest of the house not see it and it still be real. Everybody in the Amen corner starts clapping yet again. Right message, wrong messenger. Because Aaron, Jody don't like you. So at this point that you're trying to make, it don't hit because she really don't like you. It would be different if y'all actually were feeling each other and the rest of the house maybe did not think so, but y'all have had these great moments together. That's not what we seeing, okay? But the house is going up for him saying that, including Jody. And I'm like, Jody, stop, girl, because you know you don't even like this man, okay? Diamond then says, I don't care about any of these relationships And I'm just here for mine. Girl, but you stay in somebody else's business. You and your man stay in somebody else's business. The receipts don't lie. The tapes have been rolling, girl. Diamond. Oh, gosh. And when they show Greg in his confessional imitating Aaron, when I tell y'all I hollered, and I watched this episode twice, I hollered both times. It was hilarious. Shay then calls out Aaron and Diamond and says that Diamond don't really know me. She don't know my trust issues. And Diamond is like, oh, whatever. She's still a child. Girl, everybody here is grown. So Shay is getting elevated. Taronda is like, you are here, Shay. I need you to bring it on down to here. Right? So I think they made the decision having a great host with Taronda of being able to what we're not going to do is talk crazy to each other on this TV show. Okay? Bring it on down. So Shay thinks that they are jealous of all the other young couples and this activity is finally over. We then hear Shay on the phone with one of her friends talking about Aaron and Diamond, and Aaron is creeping around the house being weird as usual, and he walks past Shay and says, you make me feel so good about myself. What the hell does that even mean? Shay didn't know, and I was like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, you sounding real creepy at this point, Aaron. Shay says, I don't want to talk to you, F you and your B, and she just wants Aaron to leave her alone. Then Shay goes yelling some other things, y'all. If y'all saw the episode, y'all know what she was yelling, but I cannot be saying that stuff on this here YouTube streets, okay? Aaron, of course, goes to report back to Diamond, and they all laugh about it. And Diamond says that you can try to help people and they don't see it, and we just done. I'm done trying to help people. So they both agreed they're going to be out of people's business. And I said, finally, because the people wasn't really asking for y'all help. OK, Diamond, I was with you with the whole Sandia thing. But other than that, y'all was just being messy the rest of the time. But she thinks we just going to get stronger. They'll get weak. And I can't help it because I'm pretty, too. I said, what the hell is that supposed to mean, Diamond? Because if you think with this attitude, you cute, with the fashions you've been wearing, if you cute with these baby hairs that go down to your eyebrows, girl, no ma'am. The audacity's at an all-time high. That was nasty and low to act like the girls are upset with you because you pretty, as if the other girls are ugly. Girl, ma'am, several seats. Anyway, Greg and Millie have finally kicked Shay and Josh out of the boom boom room. They are headed there for the first time. She thinks he has proved himself today, honey. And it's time for them to let their guard down. They can touch a little, kiss a little, you know, do the things. All right. It's the next morning. We see Greg and Millie has had a good time because Greg is like, let's open this door and let some air up in here. And he is skipping out of the door. So they had a good night, but they let us read between the lines. So next, Aaron and Diamond are preparing for her daughter to come visit and meet Aaron. But before that, Taronda comes in and tells the group that this is kind of coming up on their last days. And they're going to be bringing Dr. Allie back to help them navigate a healthy relationship. Shay and Josh is going to be up first meeting with her. So they meet with Dr. Allie. She asks how they've been dealing with the ups and downs with their relationship. Shay says sometimes with the downs, she would basically turn into a beast. But she's working on not being so impulsive and angry, going from 0 to 100. Dr. Allie tells her to grow in mindfulness and to be in tune with her body. And basically to start to know just when your body starts to get elevated and angry. She's like, when I start to get angry, my armpits start to itch. And that's how I know I'm getting there. So you can start to calm yourself down. And Shay is like, ooh, my stomach be starting to hurt. And it even happened this morning. And I was like, am I having an angry poop right now? Maybe, Shay, but it's okay. So Josh, we know him. He just pretty much goes with the flow. And I think that really helps to balance Shay out, because you can't have two people that's always up here, because then you end up with Diamond and fingernail polish Aaron. So next, Diamond daughter shows up and she hopes that she approves of Aaron, because we all know how the visit went with her sister. But she says it will be a deal breaker if her daughter doesn't approve. And in my mind, I'm like, if this is a deal breaker, why would you date date a man for 5 years before introducing to your daughter. Y'all are already at the stage where this man wants to propose to you, and you saying that if your daughter don't like him, it's a deal breaker. Now, for me and my boo, that was the same thing. If our kids did not like the other one, we could not get along, we knew that was going to be a deal breaker. So when we felt good about each other, we introduced that not too far along. We didn't want to get too deep into it before introducing the kids. You don't want to get too attached and too in love, but then you're going to be so heartbroken that you can't be with this person because just the vibe is not right with the children. So I just did not get Diamond acting like, oh my God, this is a deal breaker, but you waited 5 years, ma'am. I'll call cap, okay? She tells her daughter that Aaron is even cooler in person. She goes to get Aaron so he can meet her. Amari doesn't seem impressed at first and says that Aaron looks different. And Diamond is like, is that a good different or a bad different? And she said, I'm going to just keep that to myself. So we all know that means a bad different. But she asks, what is Aaron's intentions? And he says he wants to marry her because he is in love with her. Her daughter thinks that he loves her, but isn't sure that he's in love with her. She says that although they've been talking for 5 years, she still feels like it's too soon. And I'm like, girl, Amari, what? It's been 5 years, okay? That's your mama's fault if she didn't bring you into the fold a little bit more sooner. But she asks where the dates at. Diamond is like, we've been going on dates, but, you know, we've been talking to each other. Like, I know everything about him. And Aaron is like, you can fall in love with somebody talking to them every day without ever seeing them. Okay, Aaron. Her daughter says that although y'all talk every day, he hasn't really tried to talk to me. And again, girl, that's your mother's responsibility for you to have a relationship with Aaron. And Aaron basically is saying the same thing, that, you know, most parents are not introducing kids until they are sure. So he has to really wait for Diamond to make that move. And Diamond should have made that move sometime before this time. It's been 5 years. So Diamond leaves the two of them and they talk. Aaron asks her what she likes. She likes to do hair. She likes to write poems. She asks him how many kids he has, and he's like, I got 6. And she's like, 6? And she's like, yeah, you be number 7. No, thank you. Leave me out of the Brady Bunch, okay? She asks about his previous marriages, and he's been married 2 other times. One when he was really young, and then the other he was married for 12 years, and things just didn't work out. And he says that he and Diamond have really been through some of the same things, which really helps them to connect. But all in all, the meeting went well. Aaron is dismissed, and then the girls chat. Amari tells her mama that his intentions are pure, and it really pains her to say it, but she gives Diamond, you know, she gives her approval in regards to Aaron. So next with their relationship expert is Chris and Sandia, and they tell her about themselves. Chris says he is not serious and really runs away from emotional things, and Dr. Allie is like, well, wait, we just dropped something heavy. And we all know this is an issue with Sandy because he thinks she is too emotional. He says when emotions are too much for him, he doesn't run away. Sandia was like, yeah, he walks away. These two are just terrible. He talks about the 8-year relationship again and how it bothers him. I truly think Chris still loves whoever this woman was. She did a number on him. And I think that he still loves her. And until he really gets over her, Sandia, or any woman for that matter, is not going to be good enough, and he's not going to be able to move forward. He says there was a lot of time and effort with the other relationship. There was some intermingling with the family, and then it seems like she just left is what he's kind of portraying it as. And it took him a lot of time to heal, but sir, you are not yet healed. He says that a woman really has to be consistent, got to be spending time with him, got to be showing him that he's the only one. And a woman has to basically give him her all. And he has to see that first before he's willing to even put in some effort, is what it sounds like. Is Sandia not giving this to you? Like, she's known you for 3 months, and here she is like, y'all are exclusive. You the one acting like we not in no relationship. Like, she's giving you these things. So why aren't you treating her better? He says he has to work on empathizing more with Sandia, and he has a little bit of a wall up. The therapist says they both have areas for growth. Looks like they can make it work. Again, I don't care anymore because Chris' red flags at this point are just waving all in the air, and Sandia does not care. Lastly, with Dr. Allie is Earring Aaron and Jody. Aaron says he doesn't think their relationship is super strong going into the session because she has a wall up. Dr. Allie asks about their first date meeting each other. Aaron says it was intoxicating. I was really excited to finally meet her. Jody says it was awkward. She didn't think it went well for him to try to overly impress her, and it did not feel genuine. Dr. Allie asks Aaron, how has that impacted you when she focuses on those parts of the date? He says sadness occasionally, and Jody is like, asks how she feels about it, and she's like, well, that's his own emotions. I can't feel more because he feels more, like just being really cold at this point. Aaron thinks his sadness is there, but he has a hard time with failure in general. So essentially, he doesn't want this relationship to fail, although I believe he can see it's not working. Dr. Allie tells him the connection isn't happening, and she really just sees two individual people. And when she asks Jody where she sees them in the next 2 months, can y'all guess what Jody's answer is? Take a wild guess. I don't know. She knows nothing because she doesn't want to admit anything. She doesn't want to look like the bad guy in the situation. Girl, bye. So Dr. Allie is seeing what we seeing, and she excuses Aaron and wants to talk to Jody by herself. And she straight up asks her, how do you feel? Do you feel like this relationship is worth pursuing? And the episode goes off. We all know she knows this relationship is not worth pursuing, but again, she wants to save face. She wants to ride it out to the end, so then she can ride off of this show saying that she tried and she did it, she saw it through, and then go home and break up with this man. Essentially is what she's going to end up doing, y'all. But this episode right here, it was good to me. I really enjoyed it, but let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section below. And if y'all felt the same way I did about this episode. Until then, I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.